I'm Jay Devitt. I'm a local real estate professional in Silver Lake, and today I am speaking with New York Times bestselling author and longtime Silver Lake resident Charles Fleming. He has written a very cool guidebook called Secret Stairs, which contains walks and detailed maps taking you on a tour of staircases all across the city of Los Angeles, from Pasadena to Pacific Palisades. A way to use this book would be like, hey, we're meeting at Thirsty Crow, and then we're going to do the music box stairs, and then we're going to end up at,
Absolutely.
Tomato Pie.
There was a group of Tomato Pie walkers, and they would meet every whatever night of the week, Tuesday, at Tomato Pie. They would have a beer, they would do a big hike in the stairs, and then come back and have a big pizza. So that was their Tuesday night activity. And I've met so many people, and I've gotten so many emails on the variation of, my wife and I found your book and we started doing every Saturday morning, we were like, we're gonna do a walk in the book today. And we've now done all 42 of the walks, and it's like we're in love all over again. We've discovered the city in a new way. We're having so much fun. We're gonna start over with the first walk and we're gonna do the whole thing again. I've heard so many variations of that, and so many variations of, oh my heavens, I've lived here for 35 years and I had no idea that there was a park there, or there was a lake there, or that was built by a famous architect, or that Charlie Chaplin had a studio here. Like,
all the secrets
unveiled. We don't learn a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, I love that. I love how, people have connected to the book. And then, I think we live in this fast-paced city, right? And it's like, all through the pandemic, I found myself taking walks through Silver Lake at night. The meadow kind of exploded, and it's just so great and tranquil to kind of slow life down a little bit. And I think this is such a great guidebook for that.
The book tends to be one of those things that when people adopt it or bite into it and find it palatable, they tend to get really into it. And they also tend to buy copies and give them to, I know people who have bought 10 copies because they're like, oh, you got to try this. So yeah. It's a housewarming gift. It's a graduation
gift. It's a
stocking stuffer.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it does seem to have some utility. I mean, it's the sort of thing that people really do use and find some value in. The same way that I did, like I was just a guy that needed an excuse to do some exercising because I had this bad back. And I didn't really want to write a history of Silver Lake or a history of the stairs. I wasn't really, honestly.
That wasn't the impetus, right?
What does it mean to me?
Yeah, right.
I've got other stuff to work on. But boy, has it changed. It's so changed my life in so many ways. Changed my feeling about Los Angeles. I was never, like I said, I've lived here since the 60s. I've also lived in Europe, and I lived in Japan for a long time, et cetera. But this has sort of been my base since I was a kid. And honestly, I never really loved it all that much. This is, it was fine. It was fine. I like it. It's fine. The weather's nice, et cetera. But I wasn't really in love with it until I slowed down and started walking and discovered all of these little interesting little pockets all over the city, amazing little neighborhoods that it was just a name on an off-ramp to me. I didn't know anything about it, and suddenly, it's a part of my life now.
I've been living and working in Silver Lake since I moved to LA in 2000. I lived across from the dog park for a couple years on Duane, and then I've been in Sunset Junction for 20 years. And I'll find myself just, before I knew about the book, I would find myself just walking around and just being like, whoa, there's this staircase right in the middle of this block, and where does it go? And it's amazing to me that they built these.
Are you familiar with the Madison Society and this staircase right here?
No.
These stairs are known as the Cove Steps because they, connect a section of Cove Street to another section of Cove Street. But they're also known as the Madison Steps. The Madison Society was really, before Stonewall, it was sort of the birth of the gay rights movement in America.
Wow.
A couple of men here decided, we're tired of being kicked around by the cops. We're tired of being marginalized. We're tired of being made fun of. We're actually going to create a little society and establish ourselves as a political entity, and we're going to start standing up for ourselves and saying we're not going to be treated by people like that anymore. And one of the founders lived right here at this top of this street here, and they would have their meetings here in this house, and it was really the beginning of, post the Black Cat riots on Silver Lake and some of the other events here. it was really the birth of the gay rights movement in many ways right here in Los Angeles. And you would never know that if you weren't walking by, and I think there's a little plaque somewhere up here that tells you a little bit about that. You know, you might not know that there was some interesting history right here in your midst unless you were walking with a copy of Secret Stairs to tell you, hey, look at that, it's interesting. Hey, slow down here, that's a fascinating thing.
Well, thank you, Charles.
So much my pleasure.
It's been a pleasure talking to you. I know I bought the book at Stories in Echo Park. Are there other bookstores, or I think you can get this online as well?
You can get it online, but come on, let's be part of a community. You can get it at Stories in Echo Park. You can get it at Skylight up there on Vermont. Vroman's in Pasadena always has copies. Diesel in Santa Monica always has copies. So yeah, get out and go to a bookstore. Yeah. And if you can't get out and go to a bookstore, then there's always Amazon.com. We'll bring the book right to your house.
Right.
But then you got to get it. You got to go outside. So if any of this is interesting to you and you're interested in finding out more about it, the book is called Secret Stairs, a guide to the historic staircases of Los Angeles. There's a companion book called Secret Walks, which does for the stairs on the street for people that can't climb stairs. You can find both of those online and at bookstores, and you can find out more about that at my website, which is secretstairs-la.com. We also have a Facebook page and an Instagram feed, so come and join the party.
Thanks everybody for watching The Secret Stairs in my interview with Charles. My name is Jay Devitt. I'm a local real estate advisor in Silver Lake. You can catch me on YouTube or Instagram under my handle Jay Devitt, or reach me at jdevitt.com for more information about Silver Lake and different restaurants and shops and what's going on in the real estate market. Thank you.